At the height of its success, WCW seemed unstoppable. At one point in 1997, fans honestly thought that they would be the ones to put WWE out of business with the consistent rating wins and the huge stars they had. Of course, the wheels came off, and boy would they come off hard, and the company would collapse. But in many ways, the seeds were laid by some talent releases, as they let go of lots of established stars, as well as some wrestlers who go on to become mega stars in the WWE. Some cases are even bigger than mere stardom. There were guys who completely changed the game for the entire business, became the backbone of WWE, and more importantly, their loss proved critical for WCW's eventual downfall. These easily rank as the most important WCW releases, and how each piece lost contributed to the company's inevitable collapse. Welcome to Honor Wrestling Club, and in today's video we'll be counting down the 10 most important WCW releases of all time. And before we crack on with the list, I'd just like to take a moment to firstly welcome you to Honor Wrestling Club. It's great to have you here. Welcome aboard! And I'd also like to take a moment to ask you to click the like button, the subscribe button if you're new, and the notification bell so you never miss out on any of the fun content we produce here at Honor Wrestling Club. Welcome to the club. Now, without further ado, let's crack on with the list with number 10, Six, who had one wild WWE return. Sean Waltman's tenure in WWE may have been marred at the end, as it was harder to take seriously a heel called the 1-2-3 Kid. So, jumping to WCW to hang with some old buddies made sense, and he had success with a few titles over there. It's just natural Walman was pretty ticked when he was fired by messenger service whilst injured, and it's no surprise he'd want to prove WCW wrong. He surely succeeded his return to WWE, as X-Pac was marked by a now legendary promo slamming WCW and Eric Bischoff and establishing a new DX. This return was so wild that it was awarded the PWI Award for Comeback of the Year in 1998. He was given a new hot streak with a few titles, and sure, he conned the term X-Pac heat bit, but it couldn't be denied his release and subsequent WWE success was a turning point in the Monday Night War. In number 9, we have Chris Jericho, whose exit was a sign to everyone that the game had shifted. WCW was from money. Y2J's departure and subsequent WWE stardom were signs that for the guys in WCW, jumping ship could be a better move rather than going down with the sinking vessel. In number 8, we have Mick Foley, who became a very unlikely WWE hero. Mick Foley's first book is filled with tales of his WCW run, which he seemed to like when it started. It got worse though when his top feud with Vader was ruined by the idiotic Lost in Cleveland skits. When Foley heard the announcers completely no-selling Vader powerbombing him on the concrete, he knew it was time to get out. A short ECW run re-established Foley's toughness before he headed over to the Big Fed. Mankind had a push out of the gate, feuding with The Undertaker and later becoming a legend with the Hell in a Cell match. You don't need to know which Hell in a Cell match, it is just the Hell in a Cell match. Foley was also the centrepiece of a turning point in the Monday Night War with his WWE title win and becoming one of the most beloved guys in the business. You knew he would, he looks homeless, so that's a go-to for wrestling fans. WCW highlighting how Foley was becoming a champion was another massive blow to the company, as over 600,000 fans switched the channel to watch it happen. In number 7, we have Scott Hall and Kevin Nash, who changed everything for WCW. It's not surprising why WCW would have cut Scott Hall and Kevin Nash in 1992. The former was the Diamond Stud and not doing much, while the latter had lame gimmicks like Oz and Vinny Vegas. WCW didn't see serious stardom in either, with both heading over to WWE. Before anybody knew it, Razor Ramon and Diesel were champions and two of the biggest stars in the company. That obviously set up their return to WCW with their real names, but their past glories at the forefront of fans' minds. The Outsiders formed the New World Order and had long runs as tag team champions, and Nash later became world champion and a booker for WCW. Who'd have guessed the earlier cutting would lead WCW to their biggest success? In number 6, we have Lex Luger, who fired the opening shot of the Monday Night War. This is an odd one, as the release actually paved the way for one of WCW's biggest triumphs in the Monday Night War. Lex Luger had been a dominant WCW World Champion in 1991, but he made no bones that he was ready to leave in early 1992. However, Luger's WWE tenure turned out to be a huge letdown, never rising to WWE Champion and ending up stuck in a tag team with Davey Boy Smith. When WCW came up with an offer, Luger accepted, even though WWE thought he was still under contract. That led to his shocking debut on the first ever episode of Nitro, which instantly made the show a must-see. So, by letting Luger go before, WCW set up their biggest success down the road. In number 5, we have the Radicals, whose leaving was a nail in WCW's coffin. WCW still had a huge chance to correct the mistakes of 1999 and try to bring the company back to prominence. Then, in January of 2000, they made one of the worst mistakes of all. After months of grousing and complaining over being misused, Chris Benoit, Eddie Guerrero, Dean Malenko and Perry Saturn decided to give notice and go at once. WCW tried to bribe Benoit with the world title, but he stuck to his guns. The quartet showed up on WWE as the Radicals for big pushes. It was a huge blow to WCW, costing them 4 of their best in-ring workers, leaving a gaping hole in the roster and a lot of bad press to boot. This would sadly go on to set the tone for the year that would help crush WCW and another serious misfire for the company in keeping future stars. Seriously, the year 2000 in WCW might be the worst year in any wrestling company ever, and we're including 1995 WWE for that. In number 4, we have Triple H, who could have been a WCW star. Letting go of a guy who eventually runs the opposing promotion? Yep, that has to count for this list. Triple H's WCW tenure was low-key Jean-Paul. The Ric Flair took us to him, but WCW didn't see much use, so they decided to let him go. His timing was perfect, as WCW needed someone for a Greenwich snob character, and so Hunter Hearst Helmsley was born. A key moment was when Triple H had to take the blame for the MSG curtain call, so Steve Austin could win his King of the Ring tournament. Then, Hunter later took over DX, leading to the Fight WCW, and by 2000, he was the main event WWE Champion heel. It's a bit ironic that he was on the shelf injured when WCW went under, when Hunter's departure was a big reason for WCW's downfall. In number 3, we have Jim Ross, who became the voice of WWE, and is integral to the Attitude Era, as Stone Cold and The Rock were. This may not be an obvious pick to some, but it makes a lot of sense when you take a moment and think about it. Jim Ross was a sharper play-by-play guy for WCW, as well as helping the talent behind the scenes. He figured he'd be in line for more, only to have conflicts with Eric Bischoff and the rest of the Turner brass. It's still debated if he left of his own or was fired, but either way, JR was out in early 1993. While his early stuff was rough, not helped by health issues, Ross would eventually be seen as a key voice of WWE broadcasting, especially when the Monday Night War started. His iconic calls for Mankind's Hell in a Cell fall or Austin winning the WWE title became legendary, and his behind-the-scenes promotions of guys helped make a few stars too. WCW's lame Oklahoma act only served as a testament to how letting this fine broadcaster go was a poor move by the company. In number 2, we have releasing Steve Austin, which was Eric Bischoff's worst mistake. Of all the bad moves by Eric Bischoff during his WCW tenure, this is the one that came back to bite him the most. Steve Austin was obviously a star on the rise in 1994. He was US champion in WCW and set for a main event run. However, he got pushed aside for Hulk Hogan, dropped the US title to Jim Duggan, and then was infamously fired by FedEx while rehabbing a neck injury. And naturally ticked off Austin first headed to WCW, where he takes several shots at WCW and Bischoff in particular. Then he went to WWE, where it took a little time to click as the ringmaster didn't quite work. However, once he became stone cold, Austin led WWE to its greatest ever success. Every biography of Austin notes how letting him go was a move that helped doom WCW. And in number 1, we have Paul Heyman, whose release helped change the business. You could say that letting Paul E go was a very dangerous move. Paul Heyman's exit from WCW in 1993 was so crazy that it is still legally forbidden from discussing it in great detail. He had done great as a manager, but a falling out with Bill Watts and other higher-ups led to his departure amid some ugly lawsuits. That fueled Heyman up as he headed to Philadelphia to take on the booking for what was then Eastern Championship Wrestling. The rest is known to any wrestling fan, as Heyman would transform ECW into a little renegade promotion, breaking all the rules, riling up its fans, and inspiring both WWE and WCW to emulate its attitude. In other words, letting Heyman go had WCW inadvertently changed the industry forever. So, it's no wonder he should top this list. Never mind the countless greats he's gone on to manage since. But there you have it, there's our list. So what do you think? What do you think is the most significant release in WCW history? Be sure to let me know in the comments down below. And if you've enjoyed this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up, click the subscribe button and the notification bell if you're new here, and be sure to share the video with your friends. Go on, they'll enjoy it. Let them know what they could be missing out on. However, until next time, I'd just like to thank you for watching and welcome to the club. See ya!